First of all, well done for finding this video in the sea of other ones about this entire topic. I don't normally talk about things that other people have done to death, but it's something I've noticed recently. It's been really bugging me. So this is kind of like free therapy, catharsis for me, if you will. Also, though, a lot of the things I've seen have been from the States. So they've talked about cutting the cord, meaning cable. We don't have cable over here. Even now, it's not really cable. It's not the same at all. So I thought it'd be interesting to give a different perspective. But a bit of backstory. So the UK has had terrestrial channels from like about the 50s, and they were subsidised by the government. It was a way of making sure that people had access to information. So you could have the radio or TV in cases of an emergency broadcast, you'd be able to get information straight away. Post-war, they realised that mobilising people, getting information was a good thing. And they were meant to be unbiased. This is part of their charter, and I will get into that later. But that's the idea. They're meant to give unbiased news, let the people know what's going on, and sometimes entertain them in between that. Over the years, we realised in the States that, hey, people are making profit off this, particularly soap companies, which is why soap operas have their name. They were shown in the daytime. What are they going to market? Stuff that housewives are going to want. Glad we've moved past that, hey? But over here we realised that, and channels started cropping up that would take advantage of that, would be ad supported, I guess you'd say in today's vernacular. And we then had a hybrid model, which I didn't realise until recently, until people kept petitioning me saying, save Channel 4, keep its public funding, which I didn't even know it had. I thought it was entirely ad supported. I'm so confused. And I don't watch TV, so I don't care. And later on, Channel 5 came along. So you had these 5 terrestrial channels, and if you wanted to watch them, you pay 100 whatever a year to access it. Also, that includes BBC iPlayer now as well. You cannot watch stuff on iPlayer or live TV broadcasts without a TV license. If you're watching a live stream, it's fine. And I wonder if anyone's used the loophole of someone with a camera on their TV with a live broadcast doing a live stream, because if you're sat there, you're watching the live stream, although arguably is it piracy because it's unauthorized distribution? I don't know, there's a weird grey area there. I don't think you'd be done for the license fee issue, but you'd probably be done for the piracy issue, or whatever you want to call it as. But either way, you need that if you're going to watch those. And then time went on, and Sky, a wonderful not the thing outside, but a wonderful company who realised that they can give TV through satellite dishes, erupted, and suddenly houses became super ugly with this massive thing stuck to the side of every home that you ever saw. Virgin Media came along and went, we can make it less ugly and actually do it through the same kind of cables we send you broadband. So how about that? So that's the closest we have to cable, because it does go through cables, but it's still not the same model. My understanding of the American model is if you want one sports channel, say ESPN, you need the Sports Max, which is 1,000 channels of sport, and you pay $300 for that. If you want just one movie channel, say HBO or whatever, you've got to buy the Movies Pack, which is another 1,000 channels and another $300. This is what I've heard, and yes, I know people sometimes use hyperbole, etc., and exaggerate, but I don't think it's far from the truth from what I've seen. Over here, though, there was a lot more of a way of, I don't know, getting a more bespoke package. You could get maybe 5 sports channels or 5 movie channels for a lot less. You didn't have to get everything. You could get the Sports Max or the Movie Max or whatever. Kids Max, I don't know. You could get these things if you wanted them, and of course it would cost more for those bigger packages, but you didn't have to have everything just because you wanted 1 or 2 channels. Unless the 1 or 2 channels you wanted were only available in the big package, which is on you for being a bit too specific about what you want. But it was a much better system, but still, that's on top of the license fee. You still need the license fee because you're watching live programming, even if it's not the 5 main terrestrial channels. So the costs would mount up. Years ago, I, like a lot of people who thought that that's the right thing to do and didn't question it, had a TV license, but wasn't really watching TV. And I started seeing things around and watching these wonderful videos of people refusing access. I'm like, wait, they don't have powers? I thought people were arrested for this. But they can pursue legally in very extreme cases. They need to have very good grounds to say that you've been watching TV without a license. But they would do this kind of thing and occasionally take it through courts and sometimes get a search warrant that would still have to have the police on site to make sure it was executed correctly, etc. So they still didn't have real powers there to just say, yes, you're clearly able to watch. And sometimes they would really fudge things, but that's a whole separate issue. But this was the thing, and I realised that, okay, I'm not watching live broadcasts, I don't need to, so every 2 years or so I get a thing through, and it's like, hey, you're still not watching TV? I'm like, yep. You need one for this? Yep, I'm not doing that, it's fine, go. And they always say on the thing, on the confirmation of the declaration, we may attend your property. I'm like, you won't. You will not. I remove your implied right of access, which is basically from the street level to my house, there is an implied right of access. Post people can come there, even though technically that isn't communal or council property anymore. The street is where everyone can go. My steps up to my door are not. But if you're providing a service, there is implicit right of access. That's how it works. But you basically say no. Unless you can literally get to me from the actual street, you ain't coming in. You ain't getting past that. Sorry. Or not sorry, really, in their case. But yeah, so I've removed that with everyone, and no one ever chases it up. That's where we stand in this country, and that's where I stand. I don't watch live broadcasts. There is no point me having a TV license. So with the advent of Netflix, I was like, wait, I don't need one for this? Just checking. No, did everything. No, it's fine. I can watch this, Amazon Prime Video, etc. Great. So I signed up for Netflix. Yeah, watch a load of stuff on there. Brilliant. Had Amazon Prime anyway through a household thing. And I was like, fine, cool. I'll watch stuff on Prime. Great, thanks. So I watch all this stuff. And then Disney Plus started happening and all this extra stuff. And now we're getting Paramount Plus over here, etc. Well, it's landed by now. And I'm just seeing it like... So if I was to get all of these, and I've got YouTube Premium as well because I don't want ads, but as someone who puts stuff on YouTube, I can't justify completely ethically in my mind having an ad blocker on. Because I'm like, other people like me are putting stuff out there, and this is how they get some money. I'd feel bad with that. So YouTube Premium gives me that out. It doesn't cost a massive amount for me. I can absorb that cost. It's fine. I will live with it. But by the by, yeah. So I'm seeing all these costs, and I'm like, if I had all of these things, I would be paying like more than I would pay just to have a TV license and just watch terrestrial channels. I would be paying more than even if I got the lowest TV package through Virgin. So what is going on? Cutting the cord was meant to be the money saver, and now it's becoming just as expensive. Luckily over here, Disney Plus folds in a lot of other stuff, but not all stuff. There are still things that we will have to pay extra through Amazon and things like that. So I am in this position where if I want everything, I would have to pay ridiculous amounts that it's just completely untenable. Yes, there is still the convenience of I can watch what I want when I want. It is truly on demand, whereas of course, if you're paying for cable and stuff like that, it's what they've got out unless you find a catch-up service or whatever. But the point is that it's not meant to cost as much for this as it was for cable. That was the joy of it. That was the draw. And one of the things that really made me want to make this video was when I saw Paramount Plus was launched over here, and it was like, yeah, it'll be the home for all the Star Trek stuff. We're going to have all the legacy stuff, and all the new stuff's going to be on here as well. I don't know if that includes Picard Season 3. I'm sure that's going to be on Prime as well. I really hope it is, because otherwise I will find alternative means, shall we say. But I opened up Netflix a little bit after Paramount Plus dropped, and the first thing I saw was Star Trek TNG. Right, okay. I thought you weren't having Star Trek on here anymore because of Paramount Plus. That was the point. I opened it up the other day, and TOS, the original series, up there. I'm like, what is going on? Why was Paramount Plus being told to us, you need to wait for Discovery, we've removed it from Netflix because we're going to do this thing and we're going to bring it over to your shores, and all Star Trek's going to be on there instead. And all old Star Trek was taken from Netflix. But something weird has happened, and old Star Trek is on there. Discovery isn't on there still, as far as I can see. I haven't actually looked for it. But the whole purpose of Paramount Plus, its selling point over here, as well as being able to watch Strange New Worlds legitimately, okay, great. But I'm not signing up to a service just for one TV show. that it's going to end in like a few weeks after it drops. No, not happening at all. You can jog on, my friend. So a big part of its selling point to some people is clearly lies. And like I say, this is the model that they were trying to get rid of. The old model was, this is our channel, we show our stuff here. If it's lasted long enough or we've got a deal to put it in syndication or whatever, you might see it on other stuff, but basically here is where it lives. Streaming was freeing us from that, and now we're back to it, where everything is gatekept in its own box. I was borderline okay with Disney Plus. I begrudgingly accepted it, but Paramount Plus was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I didn't make a video when Paramount Plus first dropped or when it was first announced, because I was like, okay, whatever, fine. But like I say, the whole, we've got all of the Star Treks, but it's not the case, just really, really annoyed me. So how do we move forward from this? This is the bit that's difficult. Because we all want to watch these things that we enjoy. We want to have this media available to us. But we just need to stop giving them the money. If everyone says, okay, I'm not going to subscribe to this service, I'm not going to pay these people, it's untenable, the model will fold, the company will see that they can't justify it, and they'll be put back on things like Amazon or Netflix. There is a glut of streaming services that has become cable, and that is our action against it. It's that simple. So if you can literally sit there and say, okay, what do I use this service for? What do I watch? If it's one show and it's costing you 10, 12, 15, whatever it is a month, that's not worth it, I'm sorry. Even if that one show is like 2 months, okay, that's 20, whatever, 20, 30, 40, whatever, that you've paid just to watch one show. You could have bought a box set for less than that, probably. So that's the way you've got to think about it. Disney Plus is fine because there's a lot on there. Like, we went through a thing of watching old Disney stuff. Amazon we've only got because we use Amazon Prime for delivery as well, so it's a nice little add-on. Netflix was the OG. Of course, we're going to keep it. There's also 2 people who rely on me for it outside of Amy, so I can't really just stop it. That would be cruel to them. But that's it. We've got to remind these people that we are the ones with the power. We control what's profitable and what isn't. And this goes for everything, to be honest. We control what's profitable and what isn't for these companies. Vote with your wallet. That's good advice for life. If you're not happy with a product or a service, stop funding it. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. The call to action here, I guess, the hopeful message: stop funding these people. Get us back to a system where streaming was meant to save us money, be convenient, and be a great way of getting everything we want available in 1 or 2 places. Return it to what it should be. We have the power, we have the means, we have the money to rebuild him. One of those things is not true. But I'm going to leave it there before I go off on weird tangents again. So thank you very much for allowing me to get this off my chest. Hope that you take my advice to heart. And until next time, as always, take care.